Hi there, Facebook land and LinkedIn land and YouTube land. I'm Michelle from A Teague of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday. Let's get motivated. Woohoo! I am super excited. Uh, for the first time, but A Teague of Your Own is broadcasting our Motivational Monday show on all three of our channels. And this is super cool. So I'm excited about all this. I hope this is actually getting out there because I'm trying to pay attention to the camera as opposed to the screen that has all the little social media stuff going on in there. But I know on Friday when I did a test of this for Fantastic Friday, it worked because I got a couple of comments. So I'm excited that this is happening. And the cool part is next week, I'm actually going to try and have a guest on here for everybody. One of my friends, Karen Wright, she is out in the Utah, I want to say in Salt Lake. It could be Provo, though. I need to look that up. But she is going to be joining us next week. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about what we've learned from Christmases past that are helping us in our future and in our business. But today, one of the things that I want to talk about today is conflict and how conflict can literally bring down an entire organization, and how there are lots of different causes for conflict, and one of them being miscommunication. When it comes to conflict, we all have some type of conflict going on in our lives. We either have conflict with other people in our lives, we've got conflict with our environment. You may have conflict with your bank account right now because, it's holiday time. It's Hanukkah just ended last night. Last night was the last night for it. You've got Christmas coming up. We've got all kinds of different types of holidays coming up over the next couple of weeks. And people are going out and spending a ton of money. So you may have some conflict with your bank account because there just doesn't seem to be enough in there to cover all the expenses, plus all the gifts that you want to buy. That can happen from time to time. But you could also have conflict with some of your family and friends because we are in the holiday season. You're spending a lot more time with them. And some of them are starting to get on your nerves because of how they communicate or some of the idiosyncrasies that they have. It's just a kind of a combination of a lot of different things going on, plus the stress of the holidays themselves. It's just crazy time for many of you. But when it comes to conflict, there are a lot of different causes out there. One of the main causes, though, is miscommunication. And when it comes to organizations, that's one of the key areas that I see in causing conflict, is people not communicating clearly with each other. There's a lot of reasons why that happens. People have different ways of communicating. And in this day and age, there are a ton of ways using technology to be able to communicate with other people. You obviously, you've got phones, you've got text, you've got video. You can email somebody. You could literally write a note and put a sticky note on their desk or on their laptop or whatever. But you've got different ways to communicate with other people out there. And the way that you're communicating may not necessarily be the way that the person you're trying to send the message to wants to communicate. So you've got these disconnects that happen along the way. The person who's communicating, the sender of the message, has this message that's going out there, and then the receiver may not necessarily be receiving it as intended by the sender. You've got this message going back and forth between the receiver and the sender, and you can have a lot of static in between when it leaves the sender and it gets to the receiver. And that static can be caused by literal static on the lines where you're getting dropped calls, where uh, text messages that aren't showing up right away, that it's taking several hours for them to, where you may not have a very strong signal, and as a result, some of your messages actually getting dropped. When it comes to using the internet, you may have a poor signal there, and not all of it is coming through smoothly. So you've got several things that are contributing to the static of that message coming across clean and clear and crisp to the receiver. However, you also have the issue of how the receiver wants to receive their information. When I'm working with some of my coaching clients, one of the things that I have them ask their customers is, how do you prefer for me to communicate with you? Because some of their customers may want an actual phone call, while others may want text, some may want an email, some may literally want you to put stuff in the mail to them and get hard copies of anything and everything you're trying to send them. So make sure that you're asking your receiver what your preferred method of communication. That's one of the first things you can do to help reduce some of the conflict that's going on. Because if you're somebody who constantly likes to text people, and the receivers that you're sending to it don't like text. They don't read their text. They may look at their phone every now and then when it comes to text messages. Heck, you still have some people out there like my mother who can't get text messages because her phone just doesn't do that. So you might have people out there that aren't paying attention to any of the texts that you're sending out there. And if that's the case, there's going to be some conflict in your life because you're sending them information and they're not receiving it. Make sure that you confirm with the receiver what the method of transmission is going to be for your messages. That's one of the key ways to help prevent conflict that is going on with your message and with the people who are out there. The other thing that you need to take a look at is the length of the message that you're sending. There are some people out there that want truly short, to the point messages, and sending a text is great for them because you're only going to send so much. You're not going to be able to type out or copy and paste paragraph after paragraph after paragraph in a text message. That's not what they're meant for. Text messages are meant for short to the point type of messages where you're just going back and forth, just a couple sentences here and there to clarify what's going on. If people only want that type of communication, that's perfect for them. Others, on the other hand, may prefer a lot more detail. And if they want detail, chances are they're going to want emails instead. And so that's one of the things that you're going to have to think about is getting all the information, getting all the details, getting things put into place so that you can send people the information that they need in the format that they need it. And if people are requiring more information, you're going to have to look at the format that you're using. If you're calling them, plan for that conversation to last longer than some of the conversations that you're just giving short bits of information. If you are leaving a voicemail, you may only have a minute or so for voicemail. And if that's the case, you may not be able to go into all the details that that person truly needs. And you'll have to let them know, hey, I'm going to send you an email that will have the rest of this detailed information that you're looking for. So please be on the lookout for that particular email. That's one of the other ways that you can cut back on the conflict that's going on when it comes to communication, is finding out who needs what type of information and how they want to receive that information. Those 2 points right there will help reduce a lot of the conflict that's going on in your life right now by simply reaching out to the people that you're communicating with, letting them know that, hey, I want to get some information to you. How would you like to receive that information? And how much information do you want to receive? When you ask them that question, they are now aware that you're trying to communicate with them, but also people are going to respond positively to you because you're making the effort to communicate with them in their preferred method and their preferred style. That can also help prevent conflict in your life. When people see that you're making an effort to communicate with them, when they see that you're trying to communicate how they want you to communicate with them, that is so helpful. And it's all because they look at you as somebody who is truly trying to understand who they are and what they need. A lot of the time, miscommunication comes out of this disconnect that people get because they're not meeting other people's needs. They're not giving them the information they need in the method that they need it, or they're just not paying attention to them and uh, getting the message across or receiving messages from them. So, when it comes to reducing conflict, there are three things that you can work on. The first is to reach out to that person that you may or may not have that conflict with right now. If you do have conflict with them, reach out to them, say, hey, I want us to get on the same page here. What's your preferred method of communication? And do you need a lot of information, a little bit of information? Tell me a little bit more about this because I want to make sure that you and I have an open line of communication. As soon as you do that, it helps to reduce some of the conflict. It helps to uh, push away some of the barriers that may be there for you and what's going on. So keep that in mind when you're reaching out. Ask them about their preferred method. Ask them what it is that they want to know, and also truly come across to them that you care about them and that the reason why you're communicating with them is because you want to keep them in the loop, you want to meet their needs, and you want to make sure that you've got those open lines of communication between both of you. That can do a whole lot to help prevent the conflict that's going on or reduce the conflict that's going on in your life right now. So keep that in mind out there, Facebook land and LinkedIn land and YouTube land, that there are ways to either prevent or reduce the amount of conflict that you have going on. And the key to it, most of the time, is going to be communication. Okay. Some of the things that we've got coming up next week, just on December 13th, on Monday, December 13th at 12:15 p.m. It's going to be our free monthly webinar, and that's going to be on one of my favorite topics. It's leadership lessons from ugly Christmas sweaters. So if you've never seen it, it's fun. There's a lot of interaction that goes on in it, and you will have a great time. You'll learn a lot from it, but it's also a lot of fun. It's very festive. So join me, and maybe Jim will be there. I don't know because it is on a Monday. He's tied up on Mondays right now. At least join me next Monday, December 13th, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time for leadership lessons from Ugly Christmas Sweaters. You'll be able to find the link to register for that on Facebook and on LinkedIn. You can also go to our website, ateagueofyourown.com, click on the events tab, and you can register there for that free webinar. We host a monthly webinar and it's always free. So be on the lookout. You can get on our mailing list and you'll get emails about when those are coming out, what the topics are every month. Great way to keep up with what's going on. And if you are already busy, you already have something planned, sign up for it. I always send out a recording to those people who have registered for our webinars. So go ahead and sign up for the webinar. You'll get the recording. I promise you, you'll have a great time. It's fun, it's interactive, and you'll actually learn something along the way and have a great time doing it. So we've got that coming up on, like I said, next Monday, December 13th at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking ahead, working with Penn State University at their Fayette campus on Friday, February 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that's Eastern Time. We're going to be hosting a hybrid version of Live to Lead. So if you were not able to make it to our in-person Live to Lead here in southwestern Pennsylvania, back in October, we did the in-person version of it on October 20th there at Westmoreland County Community College. If you weren't able to make it, we've got this event coming up on Friday, February 11th from 10 to 3. It's going to be hybrid. So we're going to have both face-to-face option, or you could do it online, which means everybody will have an opportunity to attend this Live to Lead session, and it is awesome. You will get so much out of it. There's 5 really great speakers. You'll get some great tools to add to your toolbox that will help you both personally and professionally. And you'll walk away with this uplifted, motivated, inspired feeling, and you'll be able to take on the world. And believe me, when we get to about the middle of February, you're going to need somebody to lift you up, because that's when, it's the middle of winter, things seem to be super dark and gray and drab and dreary. You need some motivation. You need that spark. You need something to get you going, and Live to Lead will help you. It will literally give you that push and help you get things back on track. So make plans to attend our Live to Lead either through Zoom or face-to-face on February 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll make sure that once we get the registration link from Penn State Fayette, all of you have the ability to be able to go in there and register for that. All right, that's it for today. I hope to see many of you next Monday here for Motivational Monday. We're going to be doing this, like I said, for both Facebook, for LinkedIn, and on YouTube. I should have my guest Karen Wright on here next Monday. I got to confirm that today. I'm going to see her later on. But I hope to see you then, and go out there, register for a free webinar for next Monday also, 12:15 on leadership lessons from ugly Christmas sweaters, and have a great week, everybody. Bye.